Hello and welcome to the ORL Season 8 draft here this evening. And alongside me, my co host for what is going to be a very exciting evening for sure, is Lindsay, of course. Welcome back once again.
Yep, g'day, J-Man. And yeah, we have a very interesting draft ahead of us, I think.
Yeah, we've had the sign-ups have all been done, the preseason races as well. So looking very interesting, to say the least, at the moment. And before we get into the official proceedings for the evening, we'll go over just a couple things about the season. As we all know, the first race is set for next Saturday. And another thing as well, obviously the exciting announcement is we're back to two tiers this season after being just one in season 7. But we are now racing on multiple different days. We've always had the two tiers on the Sunday afternoon, which has been a bit of a long talked about issue, but now we've finally been able to move tier 2 into a Saturday night time slot, while the tier 1 is stays at the iconic Sunday afternoon time slot. So that's pretty exciting news, don't you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting news. I think that it's been in the works since what? Season 3, we've been saying the two Sunday time slots don't work. But every time we put out a vote for the drivers, the attendance would have just skyrocketed down. And this was the first season where, it was actually a favorable time slot. And so we're finally able to get what we want and move it to two separate days.
Yeah, and without further ado, we will give you all a quick look at the calendar for season 8. So there it is in all its glory. 14 race season, back to normal for our league. And as you can see there, we open with Australia once again. I hope can everyone see that on the stream. I
Yeah,
think you should be able to. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so Australia is the opening race of the season, and then followed by Jeddah, Austria, Bahrain. And also, now that I see it on the screen here, we're introducing reverse races as well. So Austria and Silverstone will be the hosts of that. So I believe it's going to be kind of like a sprint format, 25% reverse, and then followed by a 25% normal race, which is going to be very, very interesting for drivers who obviously wouldn't have much experience with that kind of setup.
Yeah, and I feel like it'll be really interesting. And there's still one more thing I want to discuss about that, potentially about having the drivers vote per tier, which one they want to do first, which I
Mm.
think would be neat to get involved. But obviously that can be confirmed at a later date. But yeah, having the 25% reverse into 25% normal is going to be really interesting. And obviously, um, the race result will determine the second race's grid as well. So it'll be very much like the old sprint format that they used to be, and I think it'll work really well.
Yeah, so a lot of excitement to look forward to, and then we end all the way off in Brazil, and that takes us through to the end of October. So it's going to be a pretty long season, but definitely going to be very exciting to get two tiers back underway. And I know everyone is anxiously waiting to get to the draft, and we are going to get to that now. And firstly, we're going to introduce our team principles for this season. So there's a few changes. I'll tell you the team principles that are remaining first. As we all know, myself, Aston Martin, once again. I don't think that's ever changed. I don't think it ever will change, to be completely honest. Geordie Slater is still the Alpine team principal, who's stuck around there for quite a long time. And Lindsay, you have recently made the move to Ferrari, still a team principal, but taking over what is an iconic team in IRL for many reasons. And I'm sure you're absolutely honoured to step into that position. Grateful Dog is remaining as the Haas team principal after a pretty successful campaign for that team. PS Bomber moving from McLaren to VCarb, still remaining team principals, and I believe the rest are all new. So Keithy stepping into the role at the Mercedes team, who have historically absolutely dominated in RL history. Last two constructors championships go to Mercedes under Lindsay's leadership, of course. But we'll see if Keithy can work from that. Actually, sorry, Mason is remaining as the Sauber team principal as well. I forgot to mention. And then Clammy Kid is another new team principal for Red Bull. And then Mikey is a new team principal for Williams. And then finally rounding us out, SV is a new team principal for McLaren. Going to try and take them to the promised land after a not so great finish last season. So, Lindsay, what are your initial thoughts seeing that team principal list? Who do you think could stand out?
Uh, you, as always, you always manage to do it. Even when you don't pick the fastest drivers, you somehow manage there. So, and with the return of the overall constructors as well, being two tiers, that's going to be really entertaining to see how everybody goes. I think that Mason will be a good shout with Sauber, and I'm interested to see how Mikey goes as well. I think he's going to be a really solid team principal. And then obviously, I moved to Ferrari. I don't have the greatest picks, but I usually manage to make something work. And the reason for moving definitely leaves me with big shoes to fill, but we'll see what I can do.
Yeah. So that is your team principals. Get used to them. I'm sure most of you already know who they are and have been desperately trying to message your way into their minds, I guess. I think I've already heard a few team principals saying they've received plenty of interest from the drivers. And we are going to start off with the Tier 1 draft. And here is the Tier 1 draft pool right in the middle there. And before we hand it over to SV, who has luckily drawn the first pick in the lottery, there have been a few drivers that have, for obvious reasons, already been selected. Keithy is driving for Mercedes as the team principal, so he goes in as Mercedes' second pick. Grateful Dog remaining as a Haas driver, only has to make one pick. He's already there. PS Bomber for VCarb, Clammy Kid for Red Bull, and SV for McLaren have all already been selected. So that does give an advantage to these guys, especially if they're quite dangerously fast drivers, because that means that they can pick quite a solid teammate in those first 10 selections. And SV, especially, who's got pick one, is picking a teammate for himself. And we know how dangerous SV has been in recent seasons as well. So before we get underway, Lindsay, who do you think has the upper hand in this draft so far? Obviously, SV getting that first pick, but there's plenty of good drivers in that field as well.
Yeah, I mean, SV being a championship contender and then also being able to pick whoever he wants as his teammate to give himself a really good Tier 1 Constructors charge is really big. And Keithy obviously has one solid driver under his belt of himself, and then he's just got to hope that there's someone left for pick 9. And I feel like the underrated pick that always goes under the radar is pick 10 and 11. I feel that that could be quite a strong lineup, as well as Red Bull, Clammy Kid, very, very quick.
Yeah, the double pick at pick 10 and pick 11 is good if there's a lot of depth in the driver pool, but if it's a little bit top heavy, it can be risky at times. But we do know there's drivers that can easily slip under the radar as well. So now we've got some great drivers on there. We've got Tier 1 champions. We've got both of the last two in the field, and I suspect one of them is going to get picked here. And without further ado, we'll hand it over to SV, the McLaren team principal, who is going to give us
Thank
his
you.
first pick for the draft and maybe just a little explanation behind your thought process as well.
Thank you, boys. You were making me blush with that little introduction there. Well, I mean, what else can I do other than go with the reigning champ? It's in his name, Oscar Piastri Goat, so he will be joining the Papaya team for season 8.
Well, there we go. Piastri Goat is the first pick. The reigning champ is joining the McLaren team. Lindsay, was it a surprise?
No, not at all. I mean, if you really just paid attention, it was always going to happen, and that definitely makes McLaren the easy favourites for the ORL Tier 1 Constructors title.
Yep, Piastri Goat, first cab off the rank, and that is the first driver lineup that's been set up, and I am already a little bit worried
Terrified.
having a look at that. Oscar
That's
Piastri Goat
terrifying.
and SVYT are your first lineup for the season, and they're going to take some beating, that's for sure. And now we're going to move to pick 2, which is Clammy Kid, and his pick is in, and I will announce it on his behalf, and he has gone with Kalki for pick number 2 for Red Bull. Thoughts?
Interesting. I didn't expect that at all. If I'm entirely honest. Yeah, honestly, that was unexpected.
Yeah, Kalki with the second pick going to the Red Bull team. I know he's got a bit of pace about him. We've seen some good results from him, but not a whole lot of ORL racing experience over the season. So we'll see how that ends up. So Kalki and that's the second lineup confirmed as well. So it's Kalki and Clammy Kid who round that lineup out. And now we're going to move over to the third pick of the draft, and that is going to be Mikey, who's got a decision to make here. That's for sure.
Yes, thank you so much, Jamin. So my decision, based on the list, will be going with Googer14 to go with the Williams team.
Guga. Now, Lindsay, I know
Three.
you've got some thoughts about Guga.
Guga pick 3 was not on my bingo card, if I'm entirely honest. He's more of a, pick 14 sort of driver.
That's a
Right.
bit harsh.
Well, no, I was saying that because you got him last season at around there, and you're pick 14 again.
Yeah.
So, no, but I feel like maybe not a pick 3. I feel like there's a lot of really quick drivers that could potentially go there. But if you're trying to build a solid team, I mean, I guess you had the proof in the pudding last season. You had him, J-Man, and you nearly won the constructors. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think Guga's an awesome driver. I think pick 3 is not. I don't think it's really out of expectations because we've seen some great results. Very consistent driver, rocks up to most of the races, so you can't really ask for much more than that. And works hard. But I know he does a fair bit of practice for the races as well, so there's plenty of improvement to be had for Guga, and that is pick number 3 done. Williams obviously will still have one more pick. Mikey driving in Tier 2 this season. And without further ado, we'll hand it over to pick 4 VCarb, which is PS Bombers team. And I think I could maybe guess who might be selected here.
Guess.
Just maybe.
But PS
just
Bomber,
maybe.
why don't you tell us who you're going to select?
I'm gonna go back-to-back teammates. Zonix again. We may have given last season, last season, but it's alright. We're fighting for championship this season, 100%.
Zonix to VCarb, Lindsay.
There's not much to say about that, is there, Dan? It was just, it's been coming for months. So, yeah, and not a surprise.
Yeah, so Zonix and PS Bomber is the VCarb lineup. They were the McLaren lineup last season, but Zonix was pretty good in that VCarb last time he was in it. I think it was season 6, it might have been, when he was driving for that team. He did a pretty good job, so no worries there at all. And now Grateful Dog is on the clock with pick 5. I believe he's also sending his pick in. Hopefully he's around. And yep, his pick is in. No, it's not in. He's going, he's not sure.
That'll be me in a few picks' time, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I have not even thought about who I'm going to pick, and I'm 2 picks away.
Neither. So.
Alright, so Grateful Dog's pick is in, and it is a pick, that's for sure. It's a driver.
Oh no, don't be.
It's a driver in the field.
Don't be, J-Man. Is it who I think it is?
Grateful Dog has selected Lord Mahavir.
Oh, for God's sake.
Has pick 5 in the draft, and that is the Haas lineup. I tell you what, that is a good lineup. Mahavir and Grateful Dog.
The gentleman's agreement, though.
I mean,
it's out the window.
I get
the game's
it,
gone.
But like, that's a good lineup.
Oh yeah, great lineup, but
that's a championship contender.
It is a championship contender, but the game's gone. The championship, the championship gentleman's agreement is out the window.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
The integrity of the game needs to be studied.
We've got there's a few interesting comments in the chat based on that. Mahavir reckons it's easy constructors for Haas. So we'll see about that. Anyway, pick 6 is Sauber, and that is our man Mason, who is coming back again. And who there's a few options. There's a few good options on this board. So we'll hand it over to Mason.
Picking,
what's that?
I know who he's picking. It's really obvious who he's picking.
Who are you picking?
Hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, there's a good field out there. Good, strong field. Like to see. It's good to see Lords in the pool. But I think I'm gonna have to go. Gonna have to go for someone that's a bit under the radar. Haven't seen him for quite some time. Bring him back for a return. We'll go with my baby boo, Tyler Bain.
Tyler Bain. That's a good pick. I'm surprised he fell to pick 6 because
I'm very surprised, but
yeah,
it's meant to be.
that's a great result for Sauber. And yes, that's the first of the Sauber drivers. And now it's
Now we
my
move on to
turn.
you.
And to be honest, I'm grinning with excitement because I look at this field and I see so many good drivers still on the board that I did not think were going to be there. I could really annoy you with my pick, Lindsay.
Well, I feel like I know who you think you're going to annoy me with, but you're not going to annoy me with them. So it's fine.
That's a good. Yeah. So look. It'd be rude not to. I'm gonna select Danger with my pick.
Oh, what? That's not who I thought you were going to pick at all. Okay. Anyway.
And yeah, so that is going to be my first pick of the evening. And Lindsay, I think I know who you might pick. It's your turn now at pick 8.
Yeah, you know who I'm about to pick. You all know him. He's the ORL bottle job. But yeah, I am going to run it back with Taipan TJ.
Yep. So Taipan TJ to Ferrari with pick 8. So that's a pretty decent result there. I don't know how he fell to pick 8 as well. Because he's
last season is a bit of a bottle, honestly. I
Yeah.
think that's probably why.
Yeah, I think that's
then
fair.
again, he dominated preseason by like 10 seconds today. So
Yeah, preseason is preseason. We don't know what's going to happen when we actually get to the actual season, which starts on Sunday, of course. So 8 picks down. We're nearly halfway through the Tier 1 draft, and I'm going to hand it over to Keithy for the first time this evening, who is going to be selecting his teammate. And Keith, there are some options there for you.
Yeah, there are some options. But I think there's a pretty obvious one still there. I feel like he'd be left to about now, but he's still a very good driver. I'm going to take Aiden as Raiden.
yeah,
Yes.
fair call.
Yep, I think that is a good.
Tossing up between him and Trent. So
Yeah, I just think he's consistent, and he went a bit under the radar last season. So yeah.
Yep, so Aiden and Keith is that Tier 1 driver lineup now.
Yep.
And that's a pretty good lineup for Mercedes as well. So some good lineups are starting to form here. And yeah, so that's not bad for Mercedes as well. I know a few people are going to be already making some predictions for who's going to be taking out this Constructors' Championship. And I think that could be a decent contender as well. And now we're going to head to the double pick. So it's Geordie, who unfortunately drew the short straw and got the 10th pick of the draft, but it also means he has the 11th pick of the draft, so he can control his lineup completely. So Geordie, how do you feel about the drivers that are left on the board, and who are you going to be selecting for your 10th and 11th picks?
Yeah, well, I feel as Lindsay Muddle has rigged this completely because he's just simply mad for no reason. Okay, who am I going to pick? Right. So, who in here is team principals?
What?
Nobody on
Who
that
is
list.
listed as team principal?
Nobody
No one.
on that list is a team principal.
Oh, right. Okay, well, in
TP.
pick 10, okay. I think he would have been under the radar, but I'm going to pick Jet Saragi.
Ooh,
Knew
Jet
it.
Saragi. New driver to the league.
Yes. Yeah, he'll be right.
Yep.
We are a French team, so we do things differently here.
Yep, that's fair enough. So that's your first one, and now pick 11. Who are you going to take?
Ooh. Okay, pick 11. Who looks good? Which name looks like they'll actually do something reasonable for me? Oh, actually, oh, that guy looks good. I'll pick Kalki.
Kalki's taken. What?
What? Oh, okay.
Geordie.
I
What are
can't
you
do that
looking
yet.
at?
Even in the white list. What are you looking?
I'm looking at the list that J-Man put in here like a week ago.
No, look,
it's-
Calgary's
look
been
at the
taken.
Screen share. Look at the
Oh.
screen share.
I'll do that later. Oh, damn it. Okay. Right. Okay. I've actually got to think here. Okay.
This
Who
guy's
on
not
this
real.
list can I take? You know what? That wiggled moist guy. I'll take him.
Yeah, Wicked Moist. I mean, he's been pretty good too in the preseason. To be fair, have you heard much about him, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, Geordie and I commentated over him earlier. And he got what, like P5 or something. He wasn't too bad. He had good pace at times. He struggled with the rain, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a solid pick.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So Jet Saragi and Wicked Moist, two new drivers for Geordie's lineup, and there's plenty of potential there. So we'll see how that ends up, and that's the Alpine lineup for Tier 1. And now we're going to go back to Lindsay for pick 13. And I noticed that you have an opportunity to replicate
To
your
do
lineup
something
from
that I
last
normally
season.
do. Yeah. But see, last season it didn't go very.
Is he going to do it?
I've got 3 drivers who I'm considering at the moment.
Yeah, talk us through it. Just talk us through your thoughts.
Okay, I'll completely talk through my thoughts here because I'm going to speak out loud. So I could go Mickey, old reliable. I've had him about 160 times, right?
Yep.
But 2 out of the 3 times, he's destroyed my points in the first half of the season.
It's harsh but fair.
Yeah. Or I could pick a young rising star who did really well in the preseason race of Rift.
Yep.
Who's really enticing me, but I don't know. From one preseason race, I can't tell his racecraft.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a bit of safety versus maybe a bit of risk. It just depends what you're going for, really.
Or I have a third option. Do I take someone who I know will have the pace for ORL, but he might get 100 penalties a week? Glob trip.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're gonna have to make a pick. I don't want to. I don't
Yeah,
want to rush
I
you
have
too
to make
much.
it Rift.
He's going with Rift.
I'm going for young potential.
The preseason hero, the bolter, you could say, because initially was in the tier 2 pool, but at the last minute got moved up to tier 1. So there you go. Lindsay's Ferrari lineup: Taipan TJ and Dr. Rift. Are you happy with that lineup, Lindsay?
I guess we'll see. I mean, Trent's not too bad this game, and Rift is a bit of a mixed bag, really. I don't know what he can do. I know what he can do in Silverstone in the full wet. That's about it. He didn't look too bad.
Yeah, well, now it's over to me. And you've really just made my decision for me by leaving the other person. So I'm going to be taking Mickey with my with my pick,
Yep.
which I don't think will surprise many at all. Mickey, I don't think I've ever had Mickey on my team before. So
Oh, I've always gotten him.
yeah, so I think that'll be good fun. Maybe I can coach him better than you can.
Yeah, well, I used to give him setups and it just didn't work. It's okay.
Yeah, so that's my lineup: Danger and Mickey, which I have no problems with at all. I think that'll be pretty solid. And now we head back to Mason with his Sauber team. You've picked Tyler Bain with your first pick. Who do you want to partner them in this season?
That is a good question. Kind of in a bit of a hole, but we'll go with Sprinter Giggles.
Sprinter Giggles. Yeah, to be fair, bit of a. I reckon he's flown under the radar a little bit. Pretty solid in pre-season. Had some solid races last season as well, so definitely could be a decent
Got
pick.
that potential.
Yeah, definitely. So
yeah, I think there's potential in that, but I also feel like 2 people have really severely gone under the radar here at the moment.
Yeah, there could be a couple snubs here potentially. So there's 1 pick left because obviously Haas, VCarb, Red Bull, and McLaren have all had their team principals pick themselves. So we'll head over to Mike, who's got the final pick, and whilst it is the final pick, there are still a number of good options for you.
Oh yeah, I already got an option. I mean, I was just begging that you guys don't choose this driver, Cooper Field, to the Williams team.
Cooper Field.
It's like the only option I got.
Also known as Goated F1 for those who were around back in the day. And
oh wait, that's Goated at F1. I didn't know that at all.
It is.
Oh, that's actually a really good pick.
Yeah.
Fair call.
So.
Oh well, talk about luck.
There you go. So that's the Williams lineup, and now Lindsay, we have all the lineups confirmed. So what's your initial thoughts about what we see here?
If McLaren or Red Bull don't win the constructors, it's a bottle job, or Haas, actually. So if one of those three teams don't win, I'd be highly shocked. But I think that'll be your 1, 2, 3 in the constructors. I think that Globdrip and Italian Ramen was snubbed really badly, and they're going to go really high in the Tier 2 draft.
Yeah.
But I think the midfield teams will probably be V-Carb, Ferrari, and Aston.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then the top three will be McLaren, Red Bull, Haas.
So it's good to get your early thoughts on that, Lindsay. And the Tier 1 draft pool is finished, so what we are going to do is we are going to bring the undrafted Tier 1 drivers into the Tier 2 pool, which is just here, and the other one was Italian Ramen. And then we are going to get the Tier 2 draft underway. So, without further ado, I guess, as we can see, Dead Heat and Mikey are the Tier 2 drivers that are team principals. And that is a long list of Tier 2 drivers. There's plenty of options there. I'll get rid of Dr. Riff because he shouldn't be there. Yeah, so, I mean, we may as well just get into it. Grateful Dog has pick 1. A very good draft for Haas so far. And once he's ready to make his decision, he will let me know. I'm sure he's thought about this one. No, he hasn't. He said, He forgot who's good, apparently, Lindsay.
Yeah, see, I have my eye on one, potentially 2 people, and it could be really iconic, and I'm not going to get either of them. So it's really unfortunate. And this is the tier that I haven't really thought about, but there's just 1 or 2 names that come to mind that I'm like, I want them.
Yep. Well, the first pick is in, and I think this might surprise a few people, but Grateful Dog has picked Rhino as the first pick in the draft.
Interesting tactics.
As
Nico Rosberg would say, or Hamilton would say, sorry.
So Rhino is the number 1 pick, and I mean, I know he's pretty decent, so there's no worries with that. But yeah, there's some very solid drivers in there that I'm surprised didn't go a bit earlier. Or didn't go pick 1. But yeah, so that's the first in the Haas driver lineup and the first pick of the draft. I'm sure Rhino will be very pumped to know that he has a confirmed seat. And he's the number 1 pick, so plenty of expectation on him as well. And we're going to say hello to Mikey once again, who has a bit more choice this time at pick number 2. And there's a lot of options there for you. And who you fancy at the moment?
Well, I don't need any more options because I got Vipermon
Damn it!
on the number 1 selection. I'm going with the legacy Williams driver who won season 3, obviously, with 2 championships.
Man.
He did. He won in that Williams. He scored a still standing ORL record 325 points. I think he won. Was it like
over 10 races?
The first 6 races in a row, I think it was, something like that.
Yep, it was, and then he had a reasonable second half as well with a couple podiums and a win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly spiel and say that my idea was to bring back the season 3 lineup of Vipermon and Sparks.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vipermon, it's good to have him back because he's been a long time since he's been on the grid. So back into the number 2 pick. We'll see how he goes. Might be a little bit rusty after not being in the league for a while, but still a great pick. Now, we welcome back Mason again for pick number 3 for his Sauber team.
Yes,
what are your
now.
thoughts?
Well, I'm sitting here, I'm reading the list, I'm like, some good choices out here. Who do I feel I would be, close to my pace so I don't look like a complete idiot getting outpaced by my teammate. And then I jumped for joy after hearing Lindsay's little statement there. So I will be taking Sparks.
Yep.
Sparks.
I could have called that, actually. I could have called that.
Taking my man Sparks.
Yes, what another ORL legend as well is Sparks.
Absolutely.
And
Checo Perez to Vipermon. So.
keep him away from Lindsay's banter.
So that's your teammate. How do you feel about that lineup, yourself and Sparks for tier 2?
Feel pretty good. I got a good little connection with Sparks for a while, so it should be pretty good.
That is going to be a dangerous lineup early on. And also, sorry, I forgot to mention Vipermon and Mikey are partnering up as well, so that's going to be good to see. And now we go to Geordie, who has pick 4. And I'm sure there's a lot of names on this list that you go like, who even are these people? But you're going to have to pick someone.
I'm really hoping he doesn't pick who I think he's going to pick.
Don't worry. I'll just say quietly, Lindsay, Vipermon is the exact name I told Mason Cooper to pick, but I got picked early. LOL. Sucks for you. Okay. Right. I need to look at these names. Who the hell even are these people now?
There it is.
Who the hell?
Your former vice president, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, very.
There's a reason he's demoted.
Oh god. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at here. Who looks good? I'll just take Broadstar.
Broadstar!
I'll take him.
Oh, what a pick. Yeah, that's heartbreaking for me, because I would have loved to have had Broadstar back on my team, but he is quite a solid driver, so that's a good pick at pick number 4 there for Geordie to get Broadstar on board. And yeah, he's back full-time driving once again for Season 8, which is great to see. Thoughts, Lindsay?
Yeah, it's a good pick. 100%. I feel like Geordie definitely winged it. He didn't know what he was doing.
Sounded like it.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing, but it was a good pick.
All right, SV, we welcome you back to the stage. And after your insane tier 1 lineup is the only way you can describe it, are you going to have an insane tier 2 lineup as well?
Sorry, I'm crying right now. For one, what on earth is Guga's comment? Infratic. He's thinking about infratic, not infratic. The donkey. For 2, I'm convinced Geordie left his brain cells in the gravel trap at Newcastle, because what on earth was he doing when he's been on the mic? And I honestly, I want to give Lindsay a guess. Who does Lindsay think I'm going to pick here? Because he seems to think he knows everything. Out of this lineup,
I don't know what you're thinking. I just know what the people I know are thinking. Like I know what Geordie. Well, I don't know what Geordie's thinking. Sorry. Like I know what Mason was thinking, sort of thing. I don't know what you're thinking because you're strange.
Let's just say I'm going crazy here, and you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. McLaren first pick, spicy.
Oh,
Spicy.
Well, he used to race in McLaren, didn't he?
Yeah, buddy. He coming back.
Spicy's back in ORL, and SV has taken him. So, pick number 5. Wow, that is great.
Sparks. There's going to be sparks flying in the V-Carb garage. Because they 100% wanted spicy.
Yes. Oh, that's a good point too. Yeah, well picked, SV. And now PS Bomber has some thinking to do as we move over to their pick for pick number 6.
Oh, SV, I hate you so much at this moment. Oh my god. I don't know who to pick now.
There's plenty out there.
You know what? I'm gonna go with. He's came back recently. I'm gonna go with Frosty.
Frosty.
Oh wow, the meme pick of the century. That is.
We're winning tier 2 as well.
I love the pick actually. I respect the commitment to just
another RL legend.
Treasure.
Yeah.
He's a treasure.
I think Mr. Frosty is watching along as well potentially. Yeah, that'd be good to see Frosty back on the grid as well. It's great to see that we got quite a few people returning after maybe skipping out at F124, coming back for F125.
Yeah, I feel like as well. There's a big lot returning, but now we move to me.
Yes, we do.
And frankly, how has he not been picked already? Like, how has nobody picked Globdrip? What are we doing? What are we doing?
So I assume that means you're taking him.
Yeah.
Globdrip.
Like, I don't know. It just seems silly to me that he hasn't been picked already because he's a tier 1 pace driver comfortably.
Maybe the other team principals know something you don't.
maybe the other TPs know that after 3 races he's going to get moved up. But I may as well take the gamble to get early points.
We shall see. Glob Drip to Ferrari. And now we go to Red Bull and Clammy Kid, who I believe is going to send their pick through. And that has been done. And he has made his selection. And this is a good selection. I was hoping that he'd slide down to where I am in the draft, but alas, not the case. It's going to be Com United is going to be pick 8 for Red Bull. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good pick. Sorry, I was just reading chat. Yeah, I think that's a really underrated pick, and I think it's unfortunate for you, J-Man, because I feel like that might have been someone you had your eyes on, maybe not for 10, but 11.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely. But Com United in the Red Bull last season as well, so we'll be very familiar with that car. I'm sure we'll be happy to be selected as well. And now we'll move back to Keithy, who's been stitched up in this draft, it's safe to say, with pick 9 in both rounds.
Yeah, I don't appreciate it, lads. I don't appreciate it. But, you know.
Unfortunately, the wheel has not been on your side. But however, you can turn your fortunes around by making a good pick here, because there are still a lot of solid drivers there.
I mean, there's 2 tier 1 pace drivers just sitting there that no one picked. So I'm gonna go with Camillo.
Camillo.
He looks pretty decent. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a good pick.
I feel like J-Man is going to pick one of 2 people that I really want. And I'm worried.
Okay. Well then. It's my turn for a double pick in this draft. And I'm pretty happy with my options, to be honest.
Yeah, like they're solid. There's a lot left.
I think, like, there's one that I'm, like, safe. Like, I'll pick this person, definitely. And the other one's a bit, like, I could go safe, or I could go, like quite risky. So, the first one I'm going to go with Kuistra. RJ Kuistra.
Yeah, thought so. Because you've had him before, haven't you?
No, I haven't, but...
You haven't, but you've spoken about him in the comms box a few times.
I do like him. I like Kuistra.
Yeah. You just like saying the name Kuistra.
I do. It's a good name to say, and also I know who they are, and they've raced quite a bit, and that is kind of like my team mantra, is to have drivers that are consistently rocking up, and I think Kuistra is going to do that for me. Now, the second pick, there's a few people. J2 Juicebox comes to mind as someone I could pick as a safe option. And I know that I think Kuistra and J2 Juicebox want to be teammates, but I'm not going to do that because I want to take a risk. And I'm going to go with someone who was in the Tier 1 pool, didn't get selected.
Damn it!
Not Italian Ramen, though. I'm going to go with Luke Wilson, 98.
Okay, we're chilling. Alright.
It just seems to me like the pace is there. Obviously, it's a bit of a gamble, but I think that is going to be a good option. So that is going to be my lineup, Kuistra and Luke Wilson. And now we turn it over to Keithy once again, who gets to pick his second driver.
Well, this guy just looks really consistent. Looks like he wants to race every week. So I'm thinking I'm going to take Jordan, or JXRDNN. He looks really good.
Yep. I like that
so
pick.
I'll just go with him.
Has joined into the league.
Yeah.
And
showed up to all the preseason races.
Yep. I mean, that's all you can ask for, really. And that's what you want out of a tier 2 driver, especially. So it could be a very decent contributor. Yep. So Keithy's team is all done with Camillo and Jordan. And now we move back to Red Bull and Clammy Kid, who will be sending through their pick. He's currently thinking, pondering, and the answer is going to be one that Lindsay will not like very much.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I knew that was coming. It's
Clammy
okay.
Kid has selected Italian Ramen to partner Com United. And I think that's a great
just
pick.
Like that, I'm going to go cry because I don't know who else to pick.
It's a great pick, though. All right. So
Yeah, it'll be
that's the Red Bull lineup: Com United and Italian Ramen. And that's two Italians, I believe. Italian Ramen, Com United, I think, is Italian as well. So could be a bit of team chemistry there potentially.
Yeah, their team radio is going to be in Italian.
Yeah. Anyway, your Glob Drip's your first driver, Lindsay. Who's going to be your second?
But now I'm confused because I don't know who to pick. Do I go? There's two ways I could go. I feel.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Lockie.
Lockie, a new driver.
Yeah.
What's your
I saw
what's
him
your thoughts?
I saw him in the pre-season race earlier. Not the quickest driver on the track, but that's because it was a mixed tier race.
Yep.
So I feel like he might be solid. I don't think he's going to take it to the likes of, say, Spicy, who I think is actually going to do really well in tier 2.
Yep.
But I feel like he could still do well, race week in, week out, get consistent points, and I feel like he's a good pick. My other option was Juicebox, but
Yeah.
I prefer to go with someone that might have more potential.
Yeah, so that's the Ferrari lineup then for Lindsay, Globdrip, and Lockie. And now we move back to PS Bomber, who needs to find a teammate to partner Frosty. And I have a little feeling that I know who PS Bomber is going to pick here, but let's see what he comes up with.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Lucky, and then Lindsay stole him again. Someone else stole him. Yep, Lindsay. I'm gonna go with JD Juicebox.
Yes.
He's been decently quick, so yeah.
Yeah, I think he's slid quite a bit. I was thinking of picking him at my selection at pick 11. So
yeah, I thought he'd slid as well, but I don't know. Lockie in the preseason looked good.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good selection. So Frosty and JD Juicebox are the V-Carb lineup. I think that could be very interesting to watch as well. And now we go back to SV for the last time this evening, and the options they're starting to fall away. And you've got still a couple.
Who are
there,
these
though.
people? Who are they?
That's a bit mean.
I wanted Italian ramen.
Yeah, everybody wanted Italian ramen. I don't understand why he slipped. Like, he's a tier 1 driver. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, because I needed my boy Spicy because I knew that the V-Carb were after him, so I needed to get him
You
quick.
needed to annoy them? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't like the name Muhammad, Lord Mahavir. That's too close to that, so I'm not trusting that name.
I thought there was ulterior motive behind that
Yeah,
one.
let's see.
Let's go Infratic because he reminds me of that Ferrari TikToker guy.
All right.
That's fair call.
That's
problem
the
is,
logic behind my
Infratic
pick.
has a skill issue.
Infratic.
So what's to say this Infratic ripoff doesn't also have a skill issue?
I'll beat it out of him.
Okay.
So
all right.
we run it differently here at Papaya.
Thank you, SV. I think we've heard enough.
Yeah, we've heard just about enough.
And that's the McLaren lineup: Infratic and Spicy.
Now, who does Geordie pick?
2 picks remaining, and we're going back to Geordie. Geordie, there's a lot of good drivers here.
Yep. All of them, which I'm definitely aware of.
Surely you
Mate,
know at least
honestly,
one.
I'd rather have to choose between fucking Richard Hammond and James May. Like, seriously.
Surely you have one. Like, you know one of those.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few people you should know here because
Um,
one of them you were around for when they got banned, and the other few were in the preseason race.
What? Banned? What?
Because Puckers has been unbanned, and you were the VP at the time he got banned, and then Royal Duck was in the preseason race earlier.
Yeah, because, no.
I reckon you should just close your eyes
right.
and pick someone.
Who can I pick?
Just eeny, meeny, miny, mow the monitor.
Alright, you know what? I'm spinning my finger. You know what? Yeah, literally. I'm just throwing my finger around. Whoever it lands on, I'm picking. Okay, it landed on Karubi. I don't know who I don't even know who the hell it is.
Karubi has been
Yeah.
selected by Geordie. And a really
believe
great,
it will.
well thought out pick there by Geordie. Obviously had done his research, knows the drivers that he
Oh, yeah.
wants. And That's
We
yeah.
had a scouting session last week.
So Broadstar and
We had a
Karuvi.
formal scouting session.
Yep.
Yep.
So well done, Geordie. That's good picks right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an absolute honour as always. And Dead Heat obviously for Sauber, Mikey for Williams. Grateful Dog is going to have the final pick of the evening, and there's one driver in particular. I think I'd be very surprised if they don't get drafted. I think you know who I'm talking about, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Let's see who Grateful Dog selects though. Just having a think about it. He's asked me which driver am I surprised if they don't get drafted. I'm not going to tell you that.
Just tell him. Nah, I reckon just tell him.
Nah, I won't tell him. He can figure it out himself. Let's see what he says. Alright, he has gone with Royal Duck for the final pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking as well. And that's a good pick. I'm surprised that they fell down to 20th. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was another one that I nearly picked, but
Yeah, I'm not sure how they went in the pre-season race today.
yeah, see, that's why I didn't, because he didn't do great. He didn't do bad. He just didn't do great.
Okay. Alright. So that's it for the evening. So for the drivers that didn't get selected, obviously they'll come into the reserves lineup. And then there's generally a few changes that are made before the start of the season anyway. So I wouldn't be too concerned if I didn't get drafted tonight. You'll definitely probably be able to race this season. And probably in round 1 as well if you're available. So yeah. Let's have a final look through these lineups, Lindsay. And actually, we'll take a quick look at the Tier 2 lineup still. What lineups do you like out of those?
I like Williams. And I like Sauber. I also think when it comes to Tier 1, when it comes to Tier 2, yeah, I like Williams, Sauber, your team and my team. And V-Carb's not too bad either, depending on how Frosty's driving.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Tier 1, you know, you have the McLaren, Haas, and Red Bull, who would be my favourites for the championship.
Yeah, so that's the conclusion of the draft. Yep, and I'll also just remind everyone as well, Tier 1 is at Sundays 5 PM, Tier 2's Saturday night at 7:30 PM. And the draft has been completed this evening. So thank you to all the team principals that rocked up and were involved. It's good this is the first time we've had all the team principals at the draft. Usually we've had to chase some people up, spin some wheels. Thankfully, everyone has been able to pick who they wanted. And so those are the lineups, and we'll get to work on making PS Bomb will get to work whipping up some graphics. I'm sure I'll get to work sorting the lineups
Already
out
got
with
them done.
all the admin stuff, and then we'll be ready to go for round 1 this Sunday. I hope everyone's pumped. I hope you're pumped, Lindsay, as well.
I am. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah. And this is going to be my last ORL act for quite a few weeks. I'll be away for the first 4 rounds of the season, so Lindsay,
I've got to do my job.
Yep, you got to do your job.
No, it's fine. Bomber's here. Bomber and Onyx.
Yeah, so I'll be back after the break, and then we'll get stuck in. But this is going to be a really exciting championship. I think we've seen a lot of good drivers go this evening, and yeah, it should be awesome. So any final words, Lindsay, before we end off the draft?
Good luck. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I feel like it's a very mixed bag. This season, I feel like both you and I, instead of having 2 teams that you could normally predict to be somewhere further up, I feel like we're both sitting in the midfield, so we're going to have to pull some miracles. And I think the McLaren, Haas, Red Bull fight in Tier 1 is going to be absolutely electric, and I think Sauber's going to be really underrated for Tier 2.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely enthralling to see who comes out on top. Maybe there'll be a few surprises as well. But thank you all for tuning into the draft this evening. I noticed we got up to about almost 40 people at a time at one point. So a lot of intrigue and excitement around ORL this season, which is great to see. Thank you, Lindsay, for being alongside me once again this evening. And we will catch you next Saturday for
I've
the
got
first
something
time.
I want Lindsay to say. I've got something I want him to say.
Is it appropriate for the stream?
Yes,
Probably
explain
not.
to everyone.
Anyway,
Did you
that'll
mute
be
him?
it.
Got something I
No,
want Lindsay to
kicked him.
say too.
Explain it, Lindsay. Explain why you.
What's going on here?
Anyway, you can end the stream.
I want to hear what SV has to say, actually.
He wants me to explain why I'm the Ferrari TP, and frankly, it's no.
I want to
not
hear this
happening.
too.
Go on, Lindsay. Tell them all.
No, I'd rather not.
You fraud.
Alright,
Oh,
thank
I know
you.
what it is.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Fraudulent activity.